Sunday, when Malcolm arrives at the party, guess who's there at 6:30? More surprises at 7 with Scylla.
Yes, surprise, surprise. It's you I'm talking about, Marjorie Mason. Yes.
Hello, hello, hello.
What's been your plan at, Claude?
Heartbeat at 8. Then,
You're a dashed handsome woman, Daphne.
Well, now, I warned you, Mr. Cheesewright.
Jeeves and Worcester. And at 10, Linda LaPlante, Ian McShane and Jack D are Aspel's guests. That's Sunday night.
And next this Sunday, Bob's back with a new series of the $64,000 question.
My greatest wish for Emma is that she grows to be strong and healthy.
For Emma's sake, pure and wholesome ingredients go into Boots First Harvest baby food. Who cares that your baby gets the right start? We care because you do. Shake the bottle, wake the taste.
Who can you count on to know what you want? With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, the Thomson Directory is bound to know.
Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom is refreshing in a big way.
Have you caught new corn pops? They taste just like crunchy popcorn. They're the new from Kellogg's. The great taste of crunchy popcorn. They're from Kellogg's. Corn pops. They're great as part of this nutritious breakfast. Just like crunchy popcorn. You gotta catch new corn pops.
You know, I can still remember the very first sweets given to me by my grandfather. They were Werther's original, and I was 4. I had a bit of trouble opening that shiny golden wrapper, but then, well, I'll never forget that first taste. Sweet and creamy and uncommonly good. I remember feeling I must be someone very special when my granddad gave me his wonderful butter candy. Well, now I'm the granddad. And what else would I give my little grandson but my Werther's original? After all, he's someone very special, too, you know.
This is the man who presents one of Britain's most popular radio shows and has become very famous because of it. This is the man who will be presenting his show as usual next week, but from a yacht in the Mediterranean. This is the man who has a brand new Golf GTI, but has to give it away to a lucky listener on the Capital FM breakfast show.
That's real cream, folks.
With England's World Cup qualifying bid very much in the balance, next Sunday at 6 they take on Brazil in the US Cup 93 soccer tournament, and they'll be looking for a win with their autumn World Cup games still to come. England v Brazil next Sunday at 6, live and exclusive, ITV.
At 6 o'clock, the news in London tonight, followed by the world news from ITN. But first, a new series of the $64,000 question.
the $64,000 question. And here's the master of the quiz, Bob Monkhouse.
Thank you, and thank you for being with us again. 64,000 welcomes to you all. Actually, I've had almost 64,000 letters to me personally. I'd like to assure you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to answer each and every one of those letters from the viewers, each and every one personally. Thanks for the letters. Taking care of that. No, hundreds of you have written to me and are still writing, asking why we call the show the $64,000 question. Well, I explained that way back at the beginning of the first series, but I suppose some of you missed it. I dare say there are some viewers who won't hear my explanation this time because they're in the kitchen doing the dishes. So as soon as they've finished doing the dishes, ladies, perhaps you'll pass this on to your husbands. Now, don't I understand life? Anyway, nearly 40 years ago, the original American quiz show became the national rage. Nearly 40 years ago. It was the biggest thing on American television, and its key phrase entered the international language. It was used everywhere, and ever since has been used by politicians, by journalists, by authors, ordinary folk. In fact, whenever you and I have been on the spot, surely we've said it. We've said that simple phrase, hey, that's the $64,000 question. Well, you don't mess around with such a universally accepted catchphrase, so although our top prize is £6,400, the highest cash prize permitted on British television, we thought it would be only right and proper to stick to the traditional expression that everyone knows means the big one. Now, what's at the top of our money mountain? Take a look at it. £6,400. If you'd like to try for it, have writing materials, pen and paper handy. Later in the program, I'll give you the address to write to after the commercial. Will one of tonight's hopefuls win this? Now that's the $64,000 question. And there they sit. Our first three contestants in this series to be putting their learning on the line, whatever religious persuasion they might normally have tonight. They're all Quakers. We have a garden centre manageress from Lavenham in Suffolk. We have a director of finance from Leyland in Lancashire. And returning from our previous series, Sheila Altree, our laboratory technician from Devon, to answer questions on Greek mythology. Having already won £1,600, she's back tonight to try and break through that £3,200 barrier. Let's wish all three of them a lucky night. Now, if you were a young lady and you'd always lived in a country village and your father was in farming and you'd spent your entire life working in horticulture, what subject would you expect to answer questions on? It seems obvious, doesn't it? Just to make sure, let's meet the lady herself, Angie Bishop. So, what's your subject, Angie?
Well, the Carry On films.
Obvious, isn't it? Carry On films. You've guessed that, I'm sure. Anyway, you're a big fan, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Well, before I carry on and ask a question on these typically British comedies, I'd like to ask you about Lavenham. Is it a typical British village?
Yes, a lot of medieval houses, lovely church.
And how many inhabitants do you have?
About 1,800, 2,000.
Oh, that's bigger than my little village in Bedfordshire. With us, it's two's company, three's a demonstration. I bet every one of your 1,800 is wishing you well, got their fingers crossed for you tonight, so I'll get on with it. I'll get on with it by telling you your first question is worth £1. I had that quid here. And £1 is all you'll get if you get your answers wrong between £1 and £64. As soon as you get to 64, you get to keep that money and play on top of that. Try and double it up all the way to £6,400. Are you ready to play?
I am.
Then here we go. For £1 in Carry On Constable, Kenneth Connor plays Constable Constable. Is that true or false, Angie?
That's true.
It is true. You've got your quids in. He's called Constable Charlie Constable. Good. For £2 in Carry On Up the Khyber, my favourite, name the Highland Regiment guarding the Khyber Pass who were nicknamed the Devils in Skirts.
The Third Foot and Mouth.
The Third Foot and Mouth is right, Angie. For £4 now, which film had the subtitles From Here to Maternity and The Preggers Opera?
Carry On Matron.
Carry On Matron is right for £4. For £8, in which film does Harry H. Corbett, dressed like Sherlock Holmes, play the part of Detective Sergeant Bung?
My favourite one, Carry On Screaming.
That's your favourite, Carry On Screaming. Good. For £16 in Carry On Nurse, who has his temperature taken with a daffodil?
It's Wilfred Hyde White playing the Colonel.
That's right, yes. From great surprise to him, I feel sure, at the first rehearsal. £32, Judy Geeson and Patrick Mower play sergeants in Carry On England. Can you tell me the surnames of the characters they play?
Patrick Mower plays Sergeant Len Abel, and Judy Geeson plays Sergeant Tilly Willing.
You've told me more than I've got. That's pretty good. That's worth the 32 quid. Thank you. Now, for £64, which is yours to keep no matter what happens, Charlie Sage has a major problem in Carry On Sergeant. On what day is he called up?
His wedding day.
I should know. I played the part. You've just got 64 quid.